Hey everyone, this is Becoming Viola. I just wanted to do a video on something that I recently realized, which is there's a plan for me, a plan beyond my control, a plan that God set in motion before I was even born. And I'm hoping what I'm doing is His will. In my previous video, I said I was getting a double major in early childhood education and psychology, and a minor in historical literature. If I look down too much, it's because I take notes that I'm gonna, just so I don't forget. I'm sorry. So, from what I understand, this is my second semester, a total of 7 years of college, and I'm 19, so this is going to be a lot. I have to do 4 years for my bachelor's, then go back for my master's, then my PhD. In 2 years I'll have my associates, and yay. But the classes I'm taking this semester is world religions, so this is world scriptures, which is going to be very aggravating for me because I am a Christian, a Southern Baptist who I just think other religions are to each their own, but stuff like it's just going to be interesting for me. This is one of my heaviest books. It's called Beginnings and Beyond, Foundations in Early Childhood Education. I get to learn how to teach the hokey pokey. Yes, that's actually in here. Step by step, hokey pokey. I don't even know how to do the hokey pokey right now, so I think that's the one where you put your left hand in or whatever. And this is my psychology book. General psychology. This book alone, $137. $140. 98 bucks. Used. It's a used book. It still cost me 90. All my books except my psychology book is used. But about 6 months ago. No, it wasn't quite 6 months ago. About 4 to 5 months ago, we went to see a movie called Soul Surfer. And the main scripture used throughout the entire movie was Jeremiah 29:11 through 13. And the scripture speaks on how God has a plan for you. A plan for prosperity. A plan for good and not evil. And something about that verse stuck with me. I don't know if maybe it was just a coincidence, but then again, like my Sunday school, well, my older Sunday school teacher, Miss Wilma, says there's no such thing as coincidence. It's just God sneaking up on you. I was searching for something, and I didn't know what it was. And he tossed this verse out in front of me, and it's followed me since that movie. Seen it in the movie, and then about 2 weeks after the movie, it showed up in my daily devotional, and then in a novel I was reading, and then in a text message, and on Facebook in the little boxes that come up on the side. And I realized he's telling me something, and because I just don't listen, I couldn't figure it out. And then I read the scripture and I was like, well, I get he has a plan for me, but what is that plan? And I started going to school before this, and I realized, okay, so I'm gonna be a teacher, yada yada yada. Okay, I go 4 years to school, get my bachelor's, and then I realized I fell in love with psychology. Something inside me snapped, and in my head I knew psychology and children and books. I could combine that into one nice big package. And then it registered. I could be a teacher, a psychiatrist, and I could change someone's life and help them find their path, whether it's through teaching them the hokey pokey or being a shoulder they can cry on, someone they can talk to. There's a song that actually is playing now.
When I don't measure up too much in this life, oh, I'm a treasure in the arms of Christ.
And I realized that song, when I don't measure up too much in this life, I'm a treasure in the arms of Christ. I realized that song and this verse, because I heard that song multiple times and I couldn't understand what it was about that song that was screaming at me. And the verse and the song just, they kind of haunted me in a good way, and I realized that what I'm meant to do, whether it's my plan or God's plan, I'm going to do what He wants me to do, even if I get kicked down trying to do it. I honestly believe that my plan and God's plan are finally lined up. I'm ready to accept the challenges he throws my way. More than ready to accept them, I'm willing to accept them. I've always been ready, or He wouldn't have thrown them at me. I just wasn't willing. I wasn't ready to accept that He wants me to be a teacher. I've always been great with children. I've always been great with animals. I've always been the person who has the advice, the person who can look beyond the shell. And then He goes, wake up. I've got a plan for you, and this is the plan. You're going to be a teacher. You're going to take psychology classes. You're going to advance the gift I've already given you of understanding, and you're going to take it even further, and you're going to become the person I knew you were before you were ever even born. And it's exciting. I opened my psychology book on the bus the other day when I got it. I got it yesterday, and I was sitting here looking at it and I was like amazed that a child's mind, the way it develops, is so different from an adult's, and that's the moment when I knew this was right. I was excited about a textbook. I was excited about school. I was excited about learning. And I mean, I showed you this book. This thing's huge. Okay, it's 3 inches thick. And I can't wait to read it. I don't think any other book has ever excited me that much. Except for Twilight and the Bible. I mean, I carry a pocket Bible around with me. This little one. This really sweet man came into the store the other day and gave this to me, and everything's just pulling me to this one spot, and it's saying, you're gonna go to school. Who cares if you have to go to work, and you have to go to school, and you have to take care of your mother, and you have to do all this stuff, and you have all these commitments, but for somehow God's taking all of this craziness, and he's going to turn it into something amazing just because you're following what he wants you to do. It amazes me. I don't know if I think I'm a little bit scared, just a little. But more than that, I've never been this excited about something. I know the girls who watch this video can understand. Some guys will. That feeling when the guy or girl you've been madly in love with from a distance finally recognizes you, and the butterflies go and everything just hits you at once, and your mind starts flashing and making all these plans just because he noticed you. That's the feeling of knowing God in all his mightiness, all his righteousness, had a plan for you years ago, before you were even born, before he ever even created you. That's amazing. And knowing that what you thought your plan was and what God's plan is lining up, and you're on the path he wants you on, there's nothing more exciting. I'm doing the Billy Graham daily devotional, and the Billy Graham study Bible is what I have, and yeah, I know I have really goofy glasses, and I'm doing scripture reading from different religions, and all of this is hitting me, and I finally realized that he's testing what I view as him. I thought, hey, the bus came on time. God works miracles. But now I realize every time that bus was late, someone else came to the bus stop. That was my chance to witness. That was my chance to do something for him for all he's done for me. And now that I'm on the same path as that he wants me to be, and he's walking right beside me and I'm walking right beside him, my eyes are open to that. And there's always something, there's always a chance for you to do something slight for him. Passing on a track, praying for your food before you eat it. Going from being the person who hid her cross necklace to the person who wears it. The slightest thing can change how the world views you, how you view yourself, and that's kind of amazing, because if you let God shine through you, even if it's just a prayer at lunch, he has a way of taking a tiny life and making it explosive. He has a plan. And it's a brilliant plan. You just have to be willing. You're ready. If he's trusting you with something, you're ready to do it. He's not going to give you more than you can handle. So why not just make yourself, prepare yourself? I mean, it took a long time for me to realize that, but I've been ready for a long time. Just wasn't willing, and now that I am, I can't picture it any other way.